Hey, it's me, unapologetically T. Top of the morning to you, even though I probably won't post this in morning. Is it morning? Who knows? It's still morning. You know what? Scratch that. Top of the day to you. Or I would be saying good day from now on. I will only say good morning to my enemies. And it will take some time for that to come out my vocabulary. But I only want good morning for my enemies. For everyone else, I want to tell you top of the day or good day. Some people say grand risings. I'm just kind of like, some weirdos have messed that up for me. Even though grand risings is a good one. Um, so I might try to include grand risings in my vocabulary and just, erase the weirdos who made it weird. Um, so yeah, that's that. But this video is really about, I just wasted a minute with that. But this video really is about success. And a lot of us are taught from a very early age that we must grow up and be successful. But a lot of us are not typically taught what success should look like for us. And it's a good reason we are not taught properly, because we're taught that success equals money, a good job, a house, a car. Like, so we're not taught properly what success should look like for us. We're given this standard. So it could be, getting a good job, getting an education further from, your public or your primary, secondary education. Marrying up. It could be marrying up, like it could be so many different things just depending on what area you live in, what parents you get. People usually project onto you what they think you should strive for success. I think moving forward, we definitely need to ask children what, they deem themselves to be successful. And this needs to be asked throughout their evolution of growth. So like, when we're little kids, they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And that one is an interesting one. And we watch how some people stay the same, some people's change, and it like can change dramatically. Like it can veer off a little bit, but like a lot of people's stuff changes, and that's okay. Like I actually think those who are changing all along are dope, and I think those who just knew from the beginning are dope. So but I think that we have done a disservice in our society by putting these standards of what success is. And success is going to mean different things to different people. For me, and that's why I wanted to make this video, for me, I always knew for me success would never be money. And I'm gonna repeat this. I always knew for me success would never be money. I actually, as a child, despised motherfuckers with money. I felt that people with money were not such great people, and I was partly right. Not everybody who possess and have wealth are bad people. However, a lot of people who did are. A lot of people hoard and waste resources, and they only care about their bloodline continuing and having wealth, because wealth is completely different from being rich or having money. Wealth means that when you pass, your children and their children are going to be straight. Rich, you could be rich for this lifetime, and rich literally is another word where it is based upon the what you deem as being rich. You can be rich in love, you can be rich in finances, you can be rich in intellect, you can be rich in a lot of different things. So, but if we want to think about rich as just solely money, you could be rich just for this lifetime. You could be rich by hitting the lottery, and that shit is gone in 2 or 3 years. Like, so rich and wealth is two different things. I found both rich and wealthy people to be grotesque to me as a child. Now that I'm older, and that was like, I definitely was one of those children who was bright and intelligent at a very young age, and realized that um, money definitely was, and I'm gonna put these quotation marks because over the evolution of time, my views and my thoughts have changed dramatically because I have more access to information the older I got, and realized like money is not the problem. Money is not the root of all evil. I actually seen something online the other day that said, if money was the root of all evil, then why do churches ask for it? Like, why do churches ask for it? So either we're gonna have to say that churches are evil, or we're gonna have to stop saying that money is the root of all evil. Like, we literally gonna have to stop saying that. We're literally gonna have to start looking at this as guns don't kill people, people kill people. Money is not evil, people are evil. Once someone attains money, which money equals what? Power. Knowledge equals power. There's a lot of things that equals power. Money is one of them. So once, because that's how our system is ran, we live in a capitalistic society. So money is one of the ways you can gain power. Once someone gains money, gains wealth, gains even being rich, money don't make them evil. Money shows you who the fuck they really are. Like, it allows you to see who they are, how they would be with, or with the money. Without money, people typically feel depressed. They typically can't always express themselves the way they would want to because they're in a depressive or oppressive state. But once you give them money, the money isn't evil. It's showing you what you're really dealing with. What you're really dealing with. So it reminds me of a Bill Cosby special where he was joking about I think cocaine. It was either Bill Cosby or Richard Pryor. I can't think about it, but I think it was Bill Cosby, and he was like, Coke shows you who you are. It will show your goddamn demons. I'll tell you that one. I've seen some things, but so I look at, but when you're dealing with drugs, you make yourself vulnerable to certain things. So, yeah, certain ones will show you who you are, and then some ones will allow other things to come through you. So I won't put that as an indicator for what I'm actually talking about today. But it just made me think of that. But money actually just allows that person to feel comfortable to be an asshole if they're an asshole, evil if they're evil, a good person if they're a good person. So um money isn't the issue. This is a society and a system created to do exactly what it's doing, and that's that. So as a very young child, once again, I never looked at money as having success. I looked at money as a tool to make life more comfortable for me, more convenient for me. However, I never truly got to tap into that. I've always lived where I had to budget, where I had to make ends meet. And it didn't matter that I went to school. It didn't matter that I got all 3 degrees. The system wasn't designed for me, a black single woman. You know, basically a humanitarian, because like if I did get money, I wanted to help other people out. So I was never like literally able to climb that invisible ladder that it exists, but very few get to climb up it. I never was able to because of my heart. And I'm successful because of my heart, because this is where my success standard was for me. As a small child, I had all these different career visions for myself. I have literally stepped my toes and stuck my toes into so many different career opportunities and pathways, and I'm so happy I did get those opportunities. As a child, I did not really pay attention to that. I was being well versed and I guess like well rounded, because I was getting these different opportunities to career paths and stuff like that. So like even though I didn't take them, I learned so much. And I got to connect with so many different people. So saying that, my number one thing when I was a child to be successful was to save this world. I always envisioned, and I promise you not, like, it was something that was just in me. I always wanted world peace. Like, and this was not from pageantry. Matter of fact, when I was a little girl, I wasn't even in the pageant world, didn't even grow up watching pageants. I did when I was a teenager, I did get to participate in the pageant. That was an experience. That was an experience. I'll just say that. Um I was so uncomfortable because I was a tomboy, and I think that's the reason I wanted to do the pageant. But it soon became I didn't want to do it anymore. Like, it was like my mom was happy I was doing some girly shit, so she kind of got involved in it, and kind of took it over, and I was just like, but I didn't want to back out because she had put her money into it. So I was just like, you know what, we're gonna stick this through. But I made connections. One of my classmates, she actually, I think, got runner up, so I was happy about that. And she's such a beautiful person, and I love her to death. So that was an awesome experience. But like I said, I was uncomfortable, and I should have won Miss Photogenic, but we're not gonna talk about that because that's one thing, baby. The smile will serve you every fucking time, and I did not win, and I thought that was bullshit. But we're gonna carry on. Now I do know I was not, the first runner. I could have been if I put effort into it, but like literally, I froze up when it was time for my speech and all that stuff. So literally knew I wasn't gonna win that. But this photogenic, y'all cheated me. Like, that was mine. um so anyway, but I never had like that pageantry background where you're supposed to say like, I feel like the answer is world peace. No, but as a small, like, I can remember being like 4, just telling my mom stuff like, I'm gonna save the world, I'm gonna change the world, is what I used to say. I'm gonna change the world. Life wasn't fair. And just remember at a young age having that shit snuffed out, like, well, life isn't fair and you just have to deal with it. And one person can't change the world. And you're right, one person can, but if you snuff out one person that wants to, like, you're doing a disservice to the world. Like, ain't that why the fuck we here? So very early on, my dreams was getting crushed, and however, that shit still stuck with me, and I always went throughout life, no matter what I did, I wanted to help people. The more that you were relatable to me was the more, like, I wanted to help people who were struggling. Like, they had struggles not just similar to mine, but they knew what struggle was. So it didn't matter whether you was white, black, brown, whatever. I didn't care. So that was success for me. I felt like all the shiny things, all that stuff is cool, but it's a facade, right? And if you're not happy within, you're just gonna keep trying to like get these things to make you happy, and they never make you happy. Like, literally, at once again, at a very young age, things were given to me, donated to me. And I learned that I would have, some things I would really, really want, and I could never get them. And so when I got older, I promised myself, like, when I get my job, I'm gonna do this. So one of the things that I felt deprived of when I was younger was shoes. In fashion, period, like, I had clothes. I had a closet full of clothes. Like I said, my mom bought clothes. Like, she didn't shop at name brand places. She shopped at like thrift stores, and when she could, like, she would shop at other places. But she shopped within her budget, and she also dressed. She bought clothes that made me look really, really girly, and I was like total opposite. So I tended to wear things that was more comfortable to me and all that stuff. Because like literally she would have to beat me into a dress. Like, it was a struggle. So I had clothes, I had shoes, I just didn't have what was the in crowd, which didn't matter to me. Like I didn't never want what was in the in crowd. Like everybody around me was wearing Jordans and all that stuff. Like I typically wanted to look different. I typically went throughout life. If everybody was doing something, I typically didn't want to do it. However, I used to get severely picked on for being different. So after a while, you learn to try to fit in. Um, so I wish that's one of my, I can't regret it, but one of the things that I tell my daughter is just to be yourself no matter what. It's hard, definitely, when you just feel different from everyone, but just be yourself no matter what. If you be yourself, your people will find you, if that makes sense. So I literally, once I got a job, like I literally like just wanted to buy shoes, and I love the electronics too. So I loved games, so I was a gamer. So I would buy these things, right, that I always felt like I was deprived of, because my mom would buy stuff, but it wasn't always what I wanted. It came from a place of what she wanted for me. So I would buy these things, and it was like after a week or two, it was like, oh. And like all my life, I desired this. And it's like I learned very quickly, like these things are things. It's not bad to want things. However, things do not fill void. Once again, things do not fill voids. They fill closets, they fill spaces in your house, and then you're looking at, you got all this shit and you're still unhappy. So, and then you might even have a mess if you done bought too many things. So, just be aware of that. But yeah, so for me, like it's always been about the people. It's always been about the people, and I think it's because I went through such extreme abuse that I felt like it had to even be even more about the people. Because what about the children that's going through what I'm going through, that you know are like me, and there's no one there to help. All they have is the voices in their head, and I want to be clear about this on this video. The voices in my head saved my life. I used to be ashamed of this, to talk about it, because I grew up where it was bad if you talk to yourself. It was bad if you heard voices, and literally from a very young age, I heard voices. They were not bad voices. I literally used to talk to God. If anything, those voices used to pretty much help avert me from doing some fucked up shit. And then sometimes it was like it was a voice that you needed to defend yourself. Like you can't keep letting people, because I was very small as a child. Like I'm a thick ass woman now, and I was a thick teenager, but as a small adolescent, like as a young child, I was very skinny. I was muscular, but I was skinny. And people used to try to take advantage of me because of that. I was small, and they were sadly mistaken. Just because I was small don't mean I couldn't scrap. I literally grew up like my mama was a motherfucking gangster. She don't want to wear that title, but my mom was a female gangster, and and that's just is what it is. And I literally was raised to present as I was raised to present as, I wouldn't even say innocent. I was just raised to present well. Like I was raised to present as if I was raised with etiquette, and I was raised with, manners and all that stuff. And I was, right. I was raised with these manners, but I also was raised with this other part of my life that was like very much survival, very much street smarts. So literally I have street smarts, and a lot of people, like even Dante, he didn't even realize, like he used to thought like I wasn't in the streets and stuff like that. He thought I was like green, and I used to be I'ma play green and dumb with you too, and nigga. Like if you can't pick it up, you can't pick it up. But he used to thought like I was really green and all that stuff. Like when literally I probably had a rougher upbringing than him when it came to like being in the streets, and knowing certain shit very young. I'm not saying that he didn't at some points, but that shit was like out the gate for me. Like that's all I know. However, the flip side for me was that I didn't I had I was raised that I had to be both street smarts. I had to have street smarts. I had to have wisdom, which most people call common sense, but we need to stop calling that because common sense ain't so common. So I'm gonna call it wisdom. I had to have street smarts. I had to have wisdom. I had to have book smarts, like literally. Spent my days reading books, dictionaries. I've been very transparent about this. Like I literally grew up with lots and lots and lots and lots of books. I used to learn to memorize my goddamn books because I literally used to read that much. So you'd run out of books and you just learn your goddamn book that you got. I grew up where my computer games, even once we, got a computer in the household, like my computer games were not all bullshit. Like my computer games, even with like the games I play at home, like you get board games like Clue, chess and checkers and Chinese checkers and all these games were like strategies for me. My trivia games, like I used to play Trivia Pursuit by myself. So I used to have like the what do you know trivia is like these little cards and it like I don't know, it like could fan out. I even found them and bought them for Charlotte, but she don't use them like I did as a kid. I used to literally go through those and quiz myself. So like a lot of people want to know why I'm smart is because I actually put effort into it. Maybe I do have a natural ability to pick up on things fast, but I actually did put effort into being smart. So when people hate on me about certain shit, like you really don't know as a child, like what I was doing. That was my safe space, learning. So literally those things, like I had computer games, like yeah, I had some computer games like Frogger that was kind of like mindless, but even with Frogger it's like about being patient and having strategy about when the fuck you gonna cross the road. And it gets harder and harder. So but I grew up with like math games that was teaching me calculus, and I was probably like in the fourth or fifth grade. I like, and I hate calculus, but when I was in the fourth or fifth grade, like I understood that shit. Like I don't know why, I don't know how, but it's like now that I'm grown, like I hate that shit. But as a child, like it was like, okay, well I somewhat get what this is. Like, and then you get better and you get better. But I literally had one thing that was done right was I had access to a lot of educational resources. However, I did not emotionally, I didn't have much of anything. My mom would tell us she loved us because her mom didn't tell them, and she did not get hugs from her mom. So we would get the I love you and stuff like that. However, once again, I grew up in a very abusive home. Very much, my mom was a covert narcissist, and it's hard to figure that out as a child. You just start to begin to think that people are going to be mean to you, but they can love you, and that kind of gave me that cycle of where I was over a year ago. So, but granted, I went through all that abuse, and the one person I could count on and talk to was God. So I used to always talk to God. I used to always talk to God when I was scared, when I was happy, when I was sad. I was meditating at a very young age. I would literally go into the closet. I would go underneath the bed because it was dark, so you didn't have to worry about anything disrupting or disturbing you. When I would take my baths, I literally would go into a whole another world. Sometimes I'd go in the ocean. Like my imagination was subpar. Like no, it was extraordinary. I learned escapism in my head at a very early age. But one of my greatest things I said, like I said, was hearing God, listening to God. For me, it was Jesus, it was God, um, it was spirit sometimes. So like literally I always thought as a kid I was alone, but I was not. And I was physically alone, right? But spiritually I was very, very protected as the early kid. Um And that never left me. That never left me, no matter what I was going through, no matter where I was at in life. It never left me. But I was ashamed to talk about it. And I was the type of kid, like, I would talk out loud to myself, all that stuff. Like, literally. I literally had an imaginary friend, too. However, I stopped having an imaginary friend because I thought that was wrong. And all that stuff. So, literally would have to say, for me today, well, I do know, like, as a child, success was to save the world, bring peace to this world. Still is my goal. However, I would not be sacrificing myself for others. I would not be a martyr for anyone. There are people who need to martyr, and I'm not being a martyr anymore because I've already done that over and over again. I have rode and died 1,000 times, and it wasn't just for more than 1,000 times, and it wasn't just for Dante. I have literally stuck my neck out for people um, on so many occasions, and a lot of times people aren't even grateful for it, but that's neither here nor there. I just retire in the martyrdom field. I'm gonna leave that up to people who are being called to do so, because there are some of us that have just had that calling. So for me though, I've been through that phase, and I'm done with it. I retired G. um and so now it's like, what's success? So when I was like my teenage self and my young adult self, success was to go to school and get the degrees and be somebody, right? And for real, that was like my mom's goal. Now I will say this, I would have wanted to go to school, but at the moment when I was in school, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And actually the job that I had when I was working for Greyhound, um if I would have stayed there, I could have made just as much money doing that I did as a teacher. And that's wild. Like, that is really wild. Not to demean working at Greyhound, because working at Greyhound was a stress level of its fucking own. Anything in customer service, any public service type of deal or customer service type of job, it is a stress level. However, I spent I put blood, sweat, and tears into getting those degrees, and for me to make the same as someone who just walked in and applied to a job is insane to me. It's very much insane to me. So literally, I knocked that off my list. Also during those like teenage, young adult years, success also meant to me is having the home, having the nice car, my daughter going to a nice school, having the husband who takes care of us, and I can work if I want to work. Never got it. All right, my bad. I am back. I'm gonna pick off where I left off at. But yeah, like, so the adolescence, like teenager, young adult type stuff. Success was for me to like have a family and all that good stuff. Um, I did not feel fulfilled, and I'm not gonna even lie. I did fulfill as a mother. Um, However, I did not feel fulfilled in my relationship. I did not feel fulfilled with the things we acquired and I acquired on my own. Um, and I couldn't because I was not happy within. And granted, yes, I had a toxic partner, but I was also toxic as well because I didn't love myself, and it is going to be extremely hard for anybody to meet you and you don't love yourself. It doesn't mean that it can't work out, but it means that whatever person you pick is going to have to be stable themselves and have to have a lot of compassion and patience. Because I have met people who literally met me where I was at and tried to bring me, where I should have been anyway. So, however, when you're dealing with that and you're dealing with someone else who's in the same boat as you, literally it's hard. Um, Saying that, I did have great moments in life during that time period, but I never felt successful. Now we fast forward to here where literally, I posted for the world to see me go through this process of reclaiming myself, telling my truths, getting out all my traumas. Um, Literally was doing it to show other people like you're not the only one suffering. I felt very good and successful doing so. Most of all, I would not find what success meant for me until I started to love myself. And part of my self love has been defending myself, taking up for myself, standing up for myself, telling people shut the fuck up, to leave me alone, don't fucking call me no more. Some of them I just simply block, delete. You sit there and fucking figure it out, because at this point I done told you and I done told you, and you still want to be stupid. Stay stuck on stupid. That has been a lot of self love. So yeah, a big part of my self-love has been just me really sticking up for myself. I used to do this as a teenager, like literally people probably thought I was mean, but I literally was sticking up for myself. There was moments too that people had to tell me about myself, and that's why I think I had a more blunt point when I would do it, because that's where people um came about things for me. Like, it was never this soft landing of like, next time you should really mind your business. It was like, why the fuck are you in my conversation? Like, so that's how I typically learn how to tell other people, like, like it was blunt. It was very blunt. And I just, I look back on those people and, I appreciate you. Like, you could have been softer, but you won't lie. Like, shit, if I was in somebody's business, I was in somebody's business. Sometimes we get caught up on the delivery and we don't focus on like you were wrong. And so I never had a problem with that, though. I never had a problem with that. If I was wrong, I was wrong. And sometimes maybe you had to tell me harshly, because that's the only language I understood in that household. However, no, now I'm an adult. I meet people with kindness that meet me with kindness, and I meet people with pure evil. When you try to be evil to me, I'm gonna show you who really evil. You wanna go low, I'm gonna drag your ass to hell. So I would say definitely that's been my self-love. A lot of people have had to grow and do a lot of different challenges for themselves, but I feel like a lot of my growth has been to love myself. I had all the love in the world for everybody else but myself, and that's been my success. That's been me feeling like I have made it. I have made it because I have gained self love. I don't let nobody. I'm not letting nobody slip through the cracks. Now, does that mean that I'm always gonna say, "Hey, you wronged me"? No, no, no. I'm gonna let my spirit team handle you sometimes. So sometimes it's like it could be a subtle God sees everything. God sees all. Um, and that's enough for me. So sometimes people can think that they're getting away with things, and they're really not. They're really hurting themselves by constantly trying to attack people that they may think is weaker than them, or not gonna do anything in retaliation and stuff like that, not realizing that there's a whole spiritual world out here. And you lose every time when you pick with people or mess with people that literally are not bothering anyone. So yes, me at the age of 34, success to me has been self-love. I felt like soon as I realized self-love, guess what self-love led me to? Self-love led me to Jesus. Self-love led me to God. Self-love led me to myself. And yesterday I literally was just heavy on my prayers and heavy on everything, and just was like, you know what? I have been doing all this self-healing, and yes, I've been getting help from other people on how to self-heal and all this stuff. And it was like yesterday, like, it wasn't because I was tired. It wasn't because, like, I can't do the rest on my own, but like, I just was like, you know what? Success for me is going to be that I let Jesus take the rest of these burdens. And when I talk to Jesus, it is Dad, it is Yeshua, and it can be Jesus because like you get accustomed to saying certain words, but it's the Messiah to me sometimes. So it's just like depends on what timeline you done went down. And I ain't went back to ancient times, so they do have a Jesus story. So I kind of stick with my Islam, Jewish and Christianity. Um, those three. So, um, yeah, so yesterday I humbly submitted and just was like, please take the rest of this. Like, it's just no point of carrying other people's problems and just all this gunk that was put on me from a very young child. I had got rid of a lot of it by myself. I'm not gonna lie. And I wouldn't say by myself because it's always spirit, God, Yeshua with me. So like I always look at it like it is always this spiritual team, and whether they're walking around in the 3D or whether they're just spiritually protecting me, I have to give thanks and gratitude to them. um but a lot of the heavy lifting that was done, I literally wanted them to leave me alone and let me do it by myself, but they wouldn't. Like, but at yesterday I was just at a point where it was like, because I've been getting my energy levels back up and taking this day by day, right? I tell you all the time I'm not perfect. I have my moments and all that stuff, but I've been doing this, and then I just felt like, you know what? You can take it. I don't need to fight anymore. I don't need all of this. Like, I can just be, and I just want to be me, and I simply am. I just simply am. Like, you cannot define me. You cannot box me in. You cannot, like, I am the all to be all. Um, so that's just that. Like, I literally view myself as limitless, and I'm not fighting anymore. I am solely focused on thriving. I am solely focusing on what makes me happy. I am just solely focused on me, and it has been one of the most fulfilling things. Like, I'm gonna get emotional. Like, it has been one of the most fulfilling things, and it has gotten to a point where like the storm is gonna storm, but it's about being okay with being in the storm while it's storming. Like, seeing that the storm is a storm, and just knowing that like everything gonna work out anyway. So what's the point? And that doesn't mean that I can't be angry when someone wrongs me. The fuck, I should be angry. Like, a natural thing. I'm gonna be angry. Um and it doesn't mean that I have to be all love and light, right? So I once thought that. I once thought like, oh, in order to be a good person, I have to go high even when they're going low. Bitch, I'ma make this one clear. You go low, I'ma drag you to a pit of hell that you really didn't even know existed, because you ain't even been playing this game long enough to know what's out there. So if you go low, I'm gonna go lower. And it ain't just to the regular hells that people be like, I'm gonna drag you. No. You are gonna beg and plead for it to stop. And I'm not gonna lift a finger. And I'm gonna say that again. I'm not gonna lift a finger. I'm very spiritual. Play safe. Please play safe. You can think it's the devil. You can think of whatever. You can think of me whatever I am. I am whatever you think I am. Period. The fuck, point blank. I will accept that. Whatever you view me as, maybe even be a reflection of yourself. So, a lot of y'all don't even realize you're not even strong enough to be the devil. As a matter of fact, the devil be setting you up and putting you in a trick bag to even come to this doorstep. So, play safe, be wise, and I'm gonna be loving me and doing what sets my heart on fire. I'm already doing it, and even like just being in this situation that I am, I've been very transparent that I had to return back to the hell that I originated from. And I've even conquered that. So I felt like that was my last piece to my puzzle. Was if I could face my original hell, where it all started, like nothing can stop me. And nothing truly can, nothing scares me, nothing. I'm not gonna say I don't have fear, but like it comes and then I work through it, and it's like gone. Like it's like it's gone. So yesterday I literally gave the rest of my burdens to Yeshua. I want to be baptized in a river. I don't want to be baptized in no even though I've already been saved spiritually, had my little own thing going on yesterday of finding salvation. And salvation for me is having this balance with myself, and just being at peace with me. I don't have to be at peace with everybody else. If you want to be a disruptor, you're gonna find what you're looking for. But like, I needed peace for me, peace within me. Um, Even when I'm angry, I'm still literally inside here. I am at peace. The reason that I'm at peace and I can still be angry is because I have learned that anger pops up when anger feels like I need protection. So if anger pops up, then that means that something is wrong, and I need to let anger feel what the fuck it is feeling and get out what it needs to get out. Sometimes anger does not need to be released. So yeah, like literally anger shows up as this protection. And so what I've learned is I can be at peace with me. But anger shows up when the fuck it don't want to be at peace with you. Like not the other way around. But I have learned that every situation doesn't warrant me to let my anger show out. And it warrants my anger to show up, but not out. So I literally learned that I can transmute that anger into something else. I write poems. I do these videos where I literally will spew my anger out. I do other things where I will put that shit back out into the universe so that it can be used for someone else who needs it. So, you know, I've literally found my peace. It's funny because when I was at my old house, and I got this when I was in religious studies, and my religious studies class, actually the one where I went to the jail, it is backwards, and it says there is no way to peace. Peace is the way. And this is by AJ. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's Mustee. This is a picture of him. And I used to have this up on my wall next to my vision board. And literally peace is the only way. But I think when we think about peace, we think about peace as this thing that we're supposed to be just giving out to everybody. No. First of all, you need peace within. And then you need to have discernment that everybody does not deserve your peace. And some situations is going to warrant you to defend yourself, whatever that looks like for you. And then some situations are going to warrant you to completely remove yourself. Me being in this household has shown me like this is a situation where I'm here. I cannot change at this moment that I am here because financially my situation is what it is. However, it will not be that way forever. I know that to be true. I trust God. God has definitely let me know that this will not be the all to be all. So, once things are, straight, I will never look back. But while I'm here, I had to learn how to find my peace in a place where I had found it when I was little. Certain different times I would find it, but it was something hard to hold on to because it was just this constant cycle of, you know I am gonna be a good person, a good mother. And then here's the bad mother. Good mother, bad mother, good mother, bad mother, good father, bad father, good stepfather, bad stepfather, good stepfather, bad stepfather. Like literally, and even the adults in the community, like everybody in the community just about was struggling at the bottom part where I lived at. Everybody just about struggled with some type of substance abuse problem, and if the fuck they won't, they should have been. So it was either some mental health or something was going on. So just grew up around chaos and confusion till it became a norm, and it's like now for me it's like a ick. I can't do it. Don't want to do it. I just want to be blessed and keep my peace within, my love within. Everything that I was searching for in someone else and outside of me, I found within. And it is not something literally you find, it's something that you practice. If you want peace, you practice being peaceful within yourself though. So the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you treat yourself, the way that you feel like you have to hustle and work, that is basically like work addiction. They call it workaholic. That is an addiction. And I suffered from it. Like I would put a lot of things before I would put work before a lot of things. I think the only thing that I had like a line drawn for is motherhood. Like if my child is sick, fuck y'all. But when it came to me being sick, literally was sick a lot of times because the jobs that I worked was so demanding that even though like I was taking up the days that they give you to be sick, I was sick more than those days because when you're overworked and you're really not getting any type of reciprocity or acknowledgement, any praise, anything like that, literally you are literally weakening your immune system. Like when you're so stressed and all that stuff, you weaken your immune system, and it literally makes you physically sick. It manifests into a physical ailment. So I stayed sick a lot since I have quit my job and been focusing on myself spiritually. I have not been sick nowhere near as much. I've had maybe like some allergy issues or something like that, but nothing too crazy. And even my allergies have gotten better just from being out here in the country. But yeah, like it is weird because it's nothing but trees and stuff out here, but I think the air is a lot better. The air quality. So yeah, success for me now, it was internal things. So finding myself, self-love, maintaining, keeping my faith, and which wasn't a big one, so I can't even put that one on the list because I was gonna do that anyway. But just me, my success in my 30s, like 34, was me. And I would say like I've been working on this for over 7 years now. Like, so I've been trying to get to this point. It didn't happen overnight. I've been literally working very hard and diligently. That when I was 27, I realized something was wrong. And I mean, I realized something was wrong before I was 27. What I'm saying is, when I was 27, that was the breaking point for me, where I was just like, you know what, fuck this, I need help. I don't even know the person that I'm staring at in the mirror. Who is she? Like, who are you? Like, I don't even know who you are. I need help. I don't want to crash out. I need help. And I was always mind fucked into, if I went and got any psychiatric help, that I could lose my career. This was what I was told by my mom. Like I would not be able to do the things that I needed to do anymore, as far as my profession, and it would look bad. I couldn't trust white people, which I get that one. I'm not gonna even lie, I get that one. And I think all these things, right, were told to her. Or she experienced something, because contrary to history, like history is not being taught what happened to Black people and slaves. And I think that is one of the things that I have learned the most, that a lot of the trauma and the abuse that we are experienced is nothing but a product of slavery. And however, I knew that prior to this, but however, I was using it as an excuse, like, oh well, she's been through this or he's been through that. And yeah, you can understand why someone is acting the way they're acting, but at no point do you excuse abuse at your own expense. So to say that, and another way is, just because you understand why someone is being abusive does not mean that you have to accept abuse. So the roots of all of this comes from slavery. Black people definitely deserve reparations. We are basically literally the only ones who have not received any from the American government. And psychologically, you have fucked us. You have passed down, you allowed stuff to be passed down through generation to generation. We have been set back, it's been a race. And you literally had us waited out, not even at the finish line. You made us start miles away from the finish line. So you got the finish line. Then when you shot the gun and said go, you let your people run. And you let them run for a long while. You let them run for 400 fucking years, over 400 years. And you slowly allowed some of us to run the race with them. And some of us was still being held back. So it was just different phases of releasing. And guess what? We still was able to run the race and fucking lap y'all. So I think what's going on in the past was there was some jealousy of how mediocre your asses were. And you definitely, instead of, training and eating your Wheaties, you decided to say, hey, look, I'm gonna choose to still be mediocre, and I'm gonna hold you back and act like you're not shit while I be mediocre when you're really the superstar. And it was another post I seen online that said the way of the West is to shoot the gold medalist and take the gold medal, and basically say you're the gold medalist. And that's what has happened. So you have put rape, you have put buck breaking, you have bred us like cattle and then call us hypersexual. You have beaten us, killed us, tarred us, put feathers on us, tied us up to horses and hit the horses and let it split us apart, while we all had to watch. You've ripped children from mothers, and sold them as cattle again. You've done so many grotesque things that I can't even, recall everything. Like literally to this day, they are finding our hair. They would take our hair and stuff it in their fucking chairs. They would skin us. They would skin us. They would eat us. They would eat us, thinking that they could harness our powers through eating us. So many things have been done. Our kids and women and men are still being are missing people at an alarming rate. And literally all of this stems from back then. And the jig is up. The people who fell for it and perpetuated your abuse definitely still deserve punishment. However, the real culprit who's going to get punishment is the person who started all of this, the people who started all of this. And you know y'all still perpetuating it. You still perpetuating it. It has been a lot of white people who have waken up and realized like this ain't right. Kudos to you for doing the hard work, because it is very hard to grow up in an environment where you're being, told that this stuff is okay. And so kudos to you for being very special and realizing like this shit is not okay. I love and accept all of you who have done the hard work of unlearning, or just automatically feeling like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is not right. So, that part. But I will not be excusing abuse from any abusers. Period, point blank. If you got that shit in you, it is no place for you. And in God's name. So, like I said, I will not be lifting the finger. These are not threats. This is simply me speaking on, my spiritual strength and powers. Like, I am with God. God protects me. And that is my success. That is my success. That God is with me. And I know that to be true. I'm not ashamed of it. God talks to me and I talk to God, and me and God are like this. We're like this. God has chosen me. I accept it. That was another thing yesterday. I accept the position that God has designed for me, that God knew since I was born, since I came to this earthly place, that I would, have that title. Like, I accept. I accept what comes with it. And that's where I'm at. That's my success right now. Um, yeah, my success is from within. Yeah, if you still chasing success from some external things, you got some work to do. But I'm going to go ahead.